we've got the new car sales figures out, and it's so funny. All the usual suspects, the evangelists, are going on about how many more EVs they've sold and how EV registrations are going up. And then even the SMMT, they stopped saying sales, they say registrations now. Ask yourself why. Once again, petrols have saved the day. So even the SMMT have put, in the last 18 months, it's unsustainable. It's cost them 6.5 billion in discounts to get rid of the EVs, and they're still nowhere near hitting the target. You'll see the others saying, oh yeah, well, it doesn't matter. We've only got to hit 22% because there's the flexibilities, and the flexibilities are small, economical petrol cars or hybrids that the manufacturers are registering en masse as well. There's loads of those. But they do have a chance of selling those. They sell quicker. And they sell quicker because they're really petrols or diesels. They're not electrics. Nobody's going to use them. Nobody's going to plug them in. They don't. They just put petrol in and run it. But it counts towards the target. I read another story that says this will be the last year that new EVs outsell used EVs, because used EVs are selling so well, of course. And there's so many coming back onto the market. Did a story yesterday on vans. Electric van sales, I think they're up 21%. But the vehicles coming back to the market are up 60%. That means there's more electric vans for sale than there are customers. When that happens, dealers compete for the same customers, and the only way they can compete is by making their product cheaper. Customers aren't loyal, they just want cheap. So that's going to drive the price of electric vans into the floor. And it's the same with electric cars. There's more and more cars coming back onto the market. In fact, in one of the articles, the Happy EV, after a tsunami of electric cars coming back onto the used car market, a tsunami. That's not a good thing. So anyway, used petrol cars are selling faster than electric. Used diesels are selling faster than electric. Used plug-in hybrids are selling faster than just electric. Used HEVs selling faster than battery electrics. Battery electric vehicles are selling the slowest out of any fuel type. They're selling the slowest. They're also dropping the most. Now, there's a story here in AM Online, and I glanced through it before. I wasn't going to do this because I've done this on a couple of other months. But for the first time, the top two in a certain table are petrols. There's 8 electric vehicles in this top 10, but the 2 top ones are, God, I had to laugh. How do you get 2 petrols into the top 10? Well, I'm going to do a spoiler alert here, because if you don't watch all the way through my video, you'll miss this bit. And this just shows you how pathetic, absolutely pathetic, these EV people are. Okay? Used car market enters second half in good health. Retailer divide grows. That's an important thing as well. And this is by Amy Turner on the 2nd of July 2025. There's a nice picture there, the one they always put of Auto Trader. The used car market has made a robust start to the second half of 2025, with key indicators such as consumer demand, speed of sale and transaction volumes remaining stable throughout June, according to the latest data from Auto Trader. Now I can't wait to show you this any longer. So we'll go down here. the top 10 used car price contraction, all fuel types, June 2025 versus June 2024, like for like. The first one there, Hyundai i40, June 25 average, 5498. Price change year on year, minus 12%. Price change month on month, minus 2.9%. The next one, Vauxhall Viva, little car like that, Vauxhall Viva, £5,561. Price change year on year, 13.1%. Price change month on month, 3.2%. Oh, hang on a second. Rank. So they're going in reverse order on this. It's like when they give out medals at the Olympics. In third place, in second place, in first place. They're now doing it on the top 10 used car price contractions. They've put number 10 at the top and number 1 at the bottom. But fun enough, the top 10 used car price growth, all fuel types, number 1's at the top and number 10's at the bottom. There's no electric vehicles in that. There's no electric vehicles in the top 10. But from what I can see, there's 8 in the top 10 used price contractions. And they've put the table upside down. They've gone 10, 9, 8. So let's help them out. Let's turn it over. Let's turn that frown upside down and make a smile. So number 1, Tesla Model X, 31,976. Price change 19%. Price change month on month 3.9%. Next one, number 2, Mini electric hatch, 13,524. Price change year on year, minus 18.1%. Next one, number 3, Tesla Model Y, 28,370, minus 17.7%. Number 4, Nissan Ariya, 31,119, minus 7.5%. 5, Jaguar I-Pace, £23,095, 16.4%. Number 6, Kia EV6, brilliant car, £29,185, minus 16.1%. BMW i5, £53,399, minus 15.4%. BMW i5, £53,399, minus 15.4%. Number 8, BMW iX, £46,332, minus 15%. And then we get, as I say, to the 9 and 10 where they put them first and second, but it's the wrong way around. Put the table upside down. You are pathetic. You are absolutely pathetic. However, growing complexity in supply and demand is exposing a performance gap between independent and franchise retailers. This will surprise you. You know you go into a franchise retailer and you've got all those cars, all those salesmen, all that backup. A heck of a lot more professional than coming to me and John. I've got t-shirt on. John's got his shorts on. We're sat in the office there. The office was a bit of a mess due to me moving house and having half my stuff there. And then you go into, you go on the docks on the motor park there, and everybody's mint. Somebody to greet you as you walk in the door, all proper. Now you would expect all the prospecting systems, all the gear, all the manufacturer's information, all people who know what they want and want to go and buy, say, an Audi approved vehicle, Mercedes approved vehicle, not a Grosvenor Garage approved vehicle. Despite ongoing global economic uncertainty, consumer confidence edged upwards in June. Auto Trader's research revealed that 9 out of 10 car buyers remain confident in their ability to afford their next car. With 2/3 of over 1,100 customers surveyed planning to buy within 6 months, and 2 in 5 within just weeks. Now, I'd be a lot more confident if this was some sort of random system, but I'm not sure whether it is. The high buying intent was reflected in Auto Trader's traffic figures, which hit 83 million cross-platform visits in June, a 3.2% year-on-year increase, and the platform's highest ever June audience, following a record break in May. That engagement is translating into sales. Now, again, I would question what vehicles have come out. I mean, I keep looking at blooming LaFerraris. I've no intention of buying one. I couldn't buy one if if my life depended on it. I look at old cars, I look at classic cars. I'm on there every day looking at electric car prices. Every single day. I must look at, some days, hundreds. But I'm not a buyer. Funnily enough, I was looking at Jaguar I-Paces yesterday. There's one in particular, which, I'll show you. This will make you laugh, because, you know, when I keep going on about cars disappearing off Auto Trader, well, our friends at AT Price Tracker, my friends, well, they're not my friends, I don't know who they are, and don't think I'm getting paid off AT Price Tracker. I'm telling you about AT Price Tracker because it's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't get anything, but it's probably saved me a fortune. So we'll go to electric cars. We'll go to Jaguar, search 605 cars. See, for instance, this one. Listed the 2nd of the 7th, 2025, but yet it's got an AT Price Tracker history, 8th of 4th, 2025 at 20 grand, and then it seemed to disappear and it's been relisted. Why would that be? Don't tell me because its free adverts ran out. Because they didn't. That engagement is translating into sales, with used cars taking just 29 days on average to sell in June. A full day faster than last year and 2 days quicker than in May. Well, again, what they've neglected to tell you there is that petrol cars are selling the fastest, and electrics are the slowest selling fuel of them all. Retail transactions also saw year-on-year growth, rising 3.2%, according to Auto Trader's retail sales data. However, a closer look reveals a widening gulf in performance between different types of retailers. Independent retailers pull ahead. While independent retailers saw a robust 6.1% rise in sales last month, franchise retailers posted a marginal 0.1% year-on-year increase. The disparity is being driven by differing stock profiles and structural challenges affecting newer vehicles, particularly those aged 3 to 5 years. The core segment for many franchise operations, well, again, in a lot of cases, it's cheaper to buy a brand new electric vehicle on PCP than it is to get a 12-month-old, 2-year, 3-year-old EV, same model. It's cheaper getting a new one. So that has a knock-on effect. I would suggest also that the franchise dealers are tucked up with demonstrator electric vehicles. They're tucked up with electric vehicles that they've had to register, pre-register, to try and get the targets and to try and get somewhere near the ZEV mandate. So they're all concentrating on getting rid of these lead weights, getting them off the stocking plan at all costs. So therefore, the used cars are suffering. And you can see that clearly. 6%, 6.1% for indies to 0.1% year-on-year increase for franchise retailers. 6% difference. What else could it be? We know 50% aren't stocking used EVs. They're too scared to. they're sticking with the bread and butter stuff, the petrol and diesels, the cars that you can rely on, that will sell and won't hemorrhage money while they're on your forecourt. That's why the indies are in a better position. The franchise retailers, they'll be getting all sorts of stuff. They'll be getting targeted on selling their used EVs and so on. And it just drags you down. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which saw 3 million fewer new cars registered, continues to distort the used market. The number of 3 to 5 year old vehicles in the UK park has shrunk from 4.8 million in 2019 to just 3 million by the end of 2024, a 37% drop, and is projected to fall further to 2.9 million by year end, the lowest on record. So if I was to tell you that by having fewer vehicles in the park due to COVID was a fantastic thing, otherwise the motor trade would be absolutely on its knees. I mean, it's getting there now, but with all those vehicles all dropping like they have done, the motor trade would be on its knees. So COVID actually did us some good. All those pretend shortages we had actually did us some good. So that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, because if we hadn't got that shortage in vehicles due to COVID, the prices would have fallen further. I mean, it's almost impossible to fall any further, but they would have done, because there's been a bigger surplus of cars. So don't put that down as a negative. That was a bit of good luck. Well, perhaps good luck is taking it a bit too far. But the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which saw 3 million fewer new cars registered, saved the motor trade in 2025. It's created a bit of a shortage and the prices have held up a bit better. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which saw 3 million fewer new cars registered, continues to distort the used market. The number of 3 to 5 year old vehicles in the UK park has shrunk from 4.3 million by the end of 2024, a 37% drop, and is projected to fall further to 2.9 million by year end, the lowest on record. Seriously, thank goodness for that. It saved us. While franchise retailers reliant on this shrinking cohort face stock acquisition challenges, many independent retailers remain relatively unaffected. In fact, demand for older, more affordable cars is rising. Now also for the franchise retailers, it's a good job because they won't be able to buy them. They'd be in a worse position because all the indies would be buying those. They won't be able to buy them because they've got all the pre-registered stuff that they need to get on. And then the 3 to 5 years old would be significantly cheaper. So to make yours more attractive, you would have to drop it even more. The franchise, honestly, the franchise retailers should be praying to whichever God they worship, because they have been saved by the pandemic. Interest in 5 to 10 year old vehicles grew 3.4% year on year in June, while demand for cars over 10 year old jumped 8%. Some franchise retailers, perhaps that's down to Jeff Buys Cars and James at Bangonomics. Perhaps that's what it is. People realise that you can buy a car for less than an EV would depreciate in a month. You know, it's common sense. Buy a car, run it, throw it away. Or, or repair it. Like, when you could repair cars. While demand for cars over 10 years old jumped 8%, some franchise retailers have adapted by shifting their forecourt mix to include older stock, or by focusing on brands like Volvo and Kia, which have retained or increased market share in recent years. Retail prices hold steady despite pressure. Auto Trader's retail price index, based on 800,000 daily pricing observations, showed overall price stability across the market, with the average retail price of a used car standing at $16,780 in June. down just 0.1% year on year. This marks the third consecutive month of flat pricing after 19 months of decline, signalling broader market health. Well, it's signalling broader market health on petrol and diesels because electrics have still dropped, and dropped a lot. In fact, if they took the electrics out of the calculation, we'd probably have gone up, wouldn't we? Badger can't say that. Goodness me. Put your tinfoil hat on, for God's sake. However, younger cars continued to see pricing pressure. Vehicles under 12-month-old dropped minus 3.4%. They're new vehicles, mate, year on year, to an average of £32,664. And 1 to 3 year old cars fell 1.4% to 25,112, partly due to heavy discounting in the new car market. In contrast, 5 to 10 year old vehicles rose 1.2% year on year to 13,541, while cars over a decade old were up 4.1% to £6,561. Month on month, used car prices dipped by 0.6% in line with seasonal trends. Strategic shift needed. Commenting, Mark Palmer, I wonder if he's going to say nuanced. Strategic shift needed. Commenting, Mark Palmer, Head of Strategy and Insights at Auto Trader, said, as we enter the second half of the year, our data shows that the fundamentals of the used car market remain strong, consumer demand is robust, and cars are selling at pace, which combined with overall softening in supply means retail prices are stable and continue to follow seasonal norms. At a granular level, there is considerable nuance in the market. However, which is impacting retailers' traditional stock profiles and making the job of finding profitable cars more competitive. It's why using insights over instincts to power your forecourt strategy is more important than ever. Instincts, an Auto Trader price tracker. That's what you need, instincts. Because the good thing about instincts is the older you get, the better your instincts get. Top 10 used price growth. Suzuki Jimny, number 1, up 20%. Number 2, Hyundai i30, up 11.6%. Number 3, Lexus IS, 9,940, up 11.3%. 4, Mazda MX-5, 11,358, up 10.7%. Number 5, Toyota Land Cruiser, £36,904, up 8.6%. Number 6, Kia Carens, 6,516, up 8%. Number 7, Volkswagen Touareg, that well-known little car, the Touareg, 30,890, up 7.6%. So a big devil's fuel diesel Touareg, up 7.9%. Number 8, BMW M4, 40,150. Another, one that's saving the planet, up 7.6%. Number 9, up 7.2%. Up 7.2%. Number 9, Audi A3 Cabriolet, 8,840, up 6.8%. Number 10, BMW Z4, 18,493, up 6.7%. Once again, petrols have saved the day. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.